Hello, LTV viewers and friends, and welcome to the April 24th, 2025 edition of East End News on LTV. This is your community and your news. I'm Christine Sampson. Business is booming at the Sagaponack General Store, which just last week reopened after an extensive renovation. East End News correspondent Dara Berger got a look inside this historic shop. Let's take a look.
News has spread fast that the general store in Sagaponack is finally open again.
I'm absolutely thrilled. I feel like it's something that's been missing from the community, and I'm so happy to bring it back.
Grace says the store was closed for renovations for the last few years, and she worked really hard to keep the history of the store intact, as you can see from the items on display inside. The store feels like a modern-day oasis meets old-world charm.
I have a lot of historical artifacts. I have actually an old dollhouse that Merrill Hildreth made. I have old signs, old milk cartons.
So exciting. We've been waiting, watching it go up for several years, but it turned out better than anyone could dream.
Couldn't be happier.
They've restored it so beautifully. All of the wood beams and the old general store feel is exactly what we would have dreamed it could be.
As you can see from the pictures that it's had a lot of different looks over the years. Grace shared with us that the store dates back to 1878.
I really want people to feel transported back in time. I want them to walk through the doors and feel the echoes of history past.
A lot of local farmers are definitely represented in there, it seems, and the food was delicious. We sampled several already, and
The egg sandwich is off the hook. We're looking forward to having lunch here this summer and drinking lots of coffee.
Dara Berger reporting in Sagaponack for LTV East End News.
A Brooklyn man charged in $1 million drug bust in East Hampton last year has pleaded guilty to a felony count of criminal sale of a controlled substance. Michael Kotakovski now faces up to 10 years in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised release for his role in trafficking narcotics, including cocaine and MDMA, to East Hampton. According to Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney, the investigation had undercover officers infiltrating a drug operation run by Kotakovski by gaining trust and posing as customers. Tierney said in a statement that our East End is not a dumping ground for dangerous narcotics from New York City. This guilty plea demonstrates our commitment to disrupting the flow of dangerous narcotics anywhere into Suffolk County. Thousands of dollars in cash and gold coins were confiscated in the investigation. Kotakovski has also forfeited the contents of bank accounts worth over $400,000. He originally faced 9 felony counts, but this plea deal includes just one of them. Kotakovski will be sentenced on May 29th in Suffolk County Criminal Court. Similar charges are still pending against an East Hampton man who has been accused of collaborating with Kotakovski in this scheme. East Hampton Town has seen some dramatic shifts in its top-level administration over the last several months, which makes this news particularly noteworthy. Martin Culladin has been appointed the town's new Director of Code Enforcement effective April 7th. He comes from a similar role in Southampton Town, where he was responsible for investigating violations of town codes and ordinances and ensuring compliance. It's fair to say Mr. Culladin has a complex and important role overseeing this public-facing department. It is charged with finding and addressing issues such as zoning code violations, complaints about noise, signs, and parking, unsafe buildings, illegal businesses, animal control, and more. In a statement, Mr. Culladin said, quote, "My focus will be on working collaboratively with the community and across departments to ensure that our town's codes are enforced fairly, consistently, and with respect. East Hampton is a special place, and I'm committed to doing my part to help preserve it." The Bordy Barn's lively days of debauchery in Hampton Bays have been over since it closed and the property was sold about 3 years ago. Now, the future of the storied party spot could include a new hotel. Michael Wright of 27east.com reports that the owners of the Indigo Hotel and Holiday Inn and Suites in Riverhead are looking to build a 68-room hotel with a restaurant and potentially a swimming pool. According to 27 East, the early proposal found significant and somewhat surprising support at a recent meeting of the Hampton Bays Civic Association. When the over 100 people present were asked for an informal show of hands, dozens of arms went up in support. The early cost projection is $20 million, but the proposal is still in a preliminary stage. Robert Salvatico, an owner of the Riverhead Hotels, told the audience that our plan is a conceptual plan, so we're here to hear from you. We want your input, your ideas. Check back with 27east.com for more on this developing story. East Hampton Town police officers rushed to the rescue of a 73-year-old ambiance woman who called 911 when she was having trouble breathing. This happened on March 12th at about 4:30 in the morning. A sergeant and 4 officers arrived to find the woman unconscious and without a pulse. They immediately began performing CPR, a life-saving technique that's easy to learn and has saved countless lives since it was developed in the 1960s. Thanks to these 5 officers, the woman regained a pulse. The Amagansett Fire Department's emergency medical team then rushed her to Southampton Hospital, where she was stabilized. CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and all town and village police officers are trained to use it. Community members can learn too. The East Hampton Town Police Department offers periodic classes to the public. You can contact the town police to learn more about this. And speaking of saving lives, the New York Blood Center has issued an emergency call for blood donations to restore a depleted supply. Current supplies of blood stand about 20% below the demand from hospitals in the New York region. In particular, donations are urgently sought from people with type O positive and type O negative blood. About 40% of the United States population has one of these 2 blood types, which are the most beneficial to hospitals treating patients with trauma. Andrea Cefarelli, Senior Vice President of the New York Blood Center, said in a statement, "We're calling on our community, especially type O donors, to roll up their sleeves and make a donation today. Your blood donation could be the lifeline that ensures our hospitals are ready to face any emergency that comes our way." Here's the good news in this story. The Bridgehampton Fire Department has a blood drive coming up on Thursday, May 1st from 1 to 7 p.m. There are also blood drives coming up in Greenport, East Hampton, and Sag Harbor. You can search for donation locations online at the website nybc.org or call 1-800-933-2566 for additional information. Our next story is for anyone who's ever heard the acronym CSA and what it means. Community-supported agriculture is a way for people to access fresh produce while supporting their local farms. Let's take a look.
What could be better than purchasing your produce in its freshest state directly from the farmer? With summer right around the corner, it's that time of year where many community members will sign up for a CSA.
CSA is an acronym that stands for Community Supported Agriculture. And so the concept is that a community can come together and pre-purchase food for a season's worth directly from their farmer.
So people are not paying for transportation, they're not paying for any sort of like preservation of the food. Nothing is sitting on a shelf and then being given to them. It is like literally coming out of the field. And so it's as fresh as can be.
But it's also exposing you to hundreds of varieties, different varieties that you necessarily wouldn't see in your favorite restaurant or at your grocery stores.
It is the flavor explosion coming from this food is extraordinary.
And the thing that makes it kind of cool is that there is a little bit of shelf stability for the people that get the CSA, because they have a little bit of extra time if they can't use it all at once because everything's so fresh.
There are enormous benefits to having CSA farms in the community besides extremely fresh produce at a discount. The farms offer school trips to children to learn where their food is coming from and give many working-age kids in the community their first job. They also donate to local food pantries. The farms we spoke to said when community members sign up for the CSA ahead of the season, it gives the farm the financial stability to be able to make repairs to tractors, purchase seeds, or just make regular farm upgrades. And all of this can ensure that they will have the ability to deliver fresh produce for the following season. Dara Berger reporting in Amagansett for LTV East End News.
Springtime means blooming gardens across the East End. This week's Inside the Archive segment is a celebration of exactly that.
Inside the Archive is our weekly look back in time, thanks to the East Hampton Library's digital Long Island collection. As warmer weather and sunnier days approach, flowers start to bloom and adorn the East End. With an abundance of greenery on the island, locals pride themselves on their beautiful gardens that grow a variety of flowers, fruits, and vegetables. There are a number of gardens throughout the East End that flourish each year during the spring and summer seasons, and have been open to the community for decades for everyone to enjoy. In 3 Gardens in Summer, author Jack DeLashmet talks about why the Hamptons are so bountiful in agriculture, while walking us through 3 very different gardens.
The Hamptons, if you will, the eastern end of Long Island that we consider the Hamptons, is really only 450 square miles. It has a 350-year history of gardening. The soil is remarkably rich and sandy, glacial soil. It has been, since the 1750s, it was written about as having some of the finest soil in the land.
For East End News, I'm Lisbeth Leone.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of East End News on LTV, delivering the news you need through the power of public access television. We'll see you next week.